is, especially on a board like this, you get a lot of rigidity and strength to the length. It's meant to be sort of in that whole, the high performance longboard world brought into shoulder. So, yeah.
So I wanted to go over the new board, the TJ
Perfect.
Mid. So can you tell me a little bit about just the overall outline and then work your way through the bottom into the fins and the fin setup and then just yeah, why that construction?
Okay, so the shape is definitely on the longboard side down into the mid-length world versus like the boss up, which is more from the shortboard world brought into the mid-length world. So that's the big point of differentiation for the two mid-lengths that I offer with that, with its volcanic bibolic, which is we'll get into later, I guess. But because it comes from the longboard world down into the mid-length world, it opens up stability that's there. It opens up a lot of paddle ability. But I didn't skimp on the rail being a performance rail. The proportions are not hulky, but it definitely has that nice pendulum effect of a wider nose instead of a pulled in, trying to eliminate the swing weight. This one just lets it be there so you can tip ride it. So you get a little more paddle, a little more glide in through flat sections and a little more nose ride potential. So it's really good for little kids to be able to step up into like a 7/8 or whatever to get a feeling of a longboard without a gigantic longboard to lug around or to try to churn around. And it's, just good for guys who want the longboard feeling and want to rip. So the clips that I just saw that Taylor had, it's like full on ripping it definitely looks like he's ripping a longboard ridiculously more than he's ripping on a shortboard. So I hope that makes sense.
Is it because the turning arc and the radius is a little bit longer than like the boss up or something like that?
Yeah. So there's a little more drawn outness, a little more swing weight. You can tell he's using the momentum and inertia that comes from the nose being a little wider.
Oh, so when you're surfing this, do you like surf it off, take a nice long bottom turn and come up and just whack it and just do big roundhouse cutbacks and come back in and stuff like that versus like, staying 3/4 of the up or halfway up the face and then trying to sit there and whack it?
Right. Yeah, no. Well, if you're Taylor, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
He has the strength.
Huge dude, super strong, and really good surfer. So, but no. The idea is to have it be something that you can go top to bottom on and trim. So it's meant to be sort of in that whole, the high performance longboard world brought into a shorter board.
Oh.
So it's not meant to be a shortboard at all.
It's an easy transition then for people.
Yeah, I think it's a silent killer. It's going to be a really, really good all around, very good board to have in your car at all times, kind of a thing. Yeah. The bottom is the same bottom as the TJ, which is concave all the way through, and then splits into a V with a little double barrel through the fins, and it's clean. Yeah. The volcanic. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we'll go into that for sure.
Bibolic volcanic is, especially on a board like this, you get a lot of rigidity and strength to the length. So when you get those longer boards, you got to beef them up and make it so that they don't snap, because it's actually a pretty thin board still. And when you have it over length, just like the long boards, you have a lot more potential for, failure and stuff, or besides failure, just too bendy of a board on a high performance longboard. So using regular traditional PUs, I would surf those back in the day, and they would become noodly after a while. They would break down with little micro fractures, and this kind of construction really, either eliminates, I think, or at least postpones it for a really long time. So that's been really cool too.
So so this is based off of the TJ Pro,
yes,
which has been around for a long time. So
yeah,
can you kind of go over how you started, what was involved in the TJ Pro, and then people maybe can understand what this mid-length is?
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, so it was, I think, 2010. Taylor came on with Firewire, so it's 15 years ago. Wow. And I had a few boards in our line, like the baked potato, sweet potato, Spitfire, Dominator, that kind of thing. And so it was really exciting to branch out into longboarding with Taylor because he and I are from the same town in South San Diego. And we knew each other. He and my brother are really good friends growing up, went to the same school, same grade. And so I knew him and his family really well, and knew his surfing really well. And a lot of the people that supported him through his early amateur years and early pro years, he knew, hey, this is what he wants, this is what he needs, kind of a thing. So he had a lot of input himself and a lot of support because he was a younger man then. And so we were able to really nail that down pretty quick. And I was able to relate to his surfing because of the ways we all have surfed growing up as kids and then in the same town. And then also we liked the same kind of surfing. The type of surfing we were trying to do on high performance longboards was very similar. And I had been doing that as competitively in the early and mid and into the late 90s. And then he was continuing on a whole another level than what I was, but it was great. So that board came pretty naturally. I don't even know. I think we did 2 or 3 iterations, and boom, it was on. And we haven't changed it since. So
wow.
To scale it down and make it something with more offerings in terms of people who go, I like the board, but I'd like it a little shorter, kind of a thing, was very, very natural progression.
Yeah. So your shaping career is mostly shortboards, right?
Yeah. Yeah, volume wise, but I don't. I spend a lot of my time on bigger boards. I love surfing bigger boards. I like to paddle and go down the reef, far away from people, and I like to be able to ride waves that aren't necessarily a wave. Junk waves or really big waves that are far way out, and be able to like tour surfing kind of a thing. So I definitely surf shortboards more. I definitely spend most of my time on performance shortboards, but the world that I think a lot about is definitely in more volume, longer boards for sure.
Oh, so longer, what do you mean, like mid-length or 9.0s or 10.0s or something like that?
Yeah, so I ride a lot of the time. I'm riding a 6.8 Boss Up.
Oh.
And then, but like a touring board is like 9.6, or I have this 11-footer that I paddle around and just cruise and get ready for paddling, prone paddle racing and stuff like that. It's a great way to cross train and be in shape. And I always talk about how important it is to be a strong paddler in surfing. I don't care what you're surfing, longboard, shortboard, mid-length or whatever. Groveler, you got to get faster at paddling. So I'm not getting any younger. So
Ooh,
I like to be ready.
My ears.
You can
I just went up in volume. Oh man.
Yeah, you can. We can take it till we make it with paddling. We're good.
So the fin placements, it's a 4+1, and the quads or the side fins, are they just like in a standard area? A placement.
Yep, they're progressive though, so it's with performance in mind, which for me ends up being quite a bit further forward than a lot of shapers because it makes it so that the pivot point of the fins engaging as the power source of your turns comes up closer, so you don't have to put your foot as far back on these bigger boards, especially. So that's
the
something
pivot
I've
point's
learned.
Closer to the center of the board than most people's boards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that part's very helpful. Moving the fins forward is very helpful for making the sweet spot bigger, all these kinds of things. Plus, Taylor's even been swapping in twinnies, putting in twin fins on small days when he kind of wants to just slide around and have it be a fun little board. But yeah, for me, it'd be quad all the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that means the quads are a little bit more forward. Are they closer to the rail, or you kind of
that formula? Yeah. So that formula of the relationship of the front fins to the quads is a set formula. It's actually pretty pragmatic with math. that I've used since about 2008. I ended up drilling a bunch of holes and trying to figure out where to put the fin placement in this poor board. I kept drilling holes and putting fin boxes in new spots until it was just right. And that formula of inches back from the front fins and inches closer together from the front fins, it's a closely guarded secret, but it's one that's been tried and true and applied into this board as well.
Yeah, and then what about the tilt? The not the cap, but the
toe.
The toe.
Yep. So the front fins are a little less toe than what most shapers use, and the back fins, the quads, have just a little bit of toe, not much. They're pretty straight.
So with the toe being a little not as much as most people do, you get more drive out of it. Is that what it means?
Exactly. So you get more drive from the toe being a little more straight to make up for the fins being a little further forward. So it's a little bit of a twist on differentiation from a lot of other shapers that has been working for a long time. About 20 years that this guy named Michael taught me about some early day foiling and windsurfing stuff, and he taught me about that. I was like, that's a good little trick, because for most surfers, one of the most overlooked aspects of our performance surfing is not putting our foot far enough back. So if you can cheat that as a shaper to help the surfer out and help this surfer out primarily, then it really worked for me, because I was having a lot more benefit by moving the fins forward immediately. And then to keep the drive so they don't get too squirrely, I straighten out the toe.
Wow, so that's why you're able to twin fin the board too, because it's a little bit more straighter than a normal board.
Yep, and same with the Boss Up, S-Boss. Those guys all ride twinnies a lot, 20 plus one little nubsters, all kinds of different combinations. And that's the cool thing that we have going on in this era of surfing and hard goods, is we have so many good fin options, and the language and the support for guys who are surfing or girls who are surfers that are buying fins have so much more understanding of the importance of them, and invest in it, because it's totally worth it, because you can save a session or make a session that wasn't going to be that fun a lot more fun by swapping out your fins one way or another to enhance the performance or however you want.
Wow. And then the center fin in relation to the side fin, is it just like a standard placement?
Yeah. So for that, in this case, as for the TJ Mid, the box is in the place of a 2+1 box. Pretty straightforward. That would be the same as the TJ Pro. For the TJ Pro, for many years, it was just a pure 2+1. And so that relationship's more or less the same for the Mini.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So a person that's, let's say, 150 and they're going to ride the smaller board, and they're going to single fin, and a person that's 200 that's going to ride that same board as a single fin, what fin size would you recommend? And would you recommend a raked one or a more upright?
I like the upright myself, a little more on the upright side. And I would say, so the cheat on this one with single fins is really cool. I use this in paddleboard racing too, is so the size of the fin, I don't think you'd want to go too much smaller than 8 inch. And I think you could go easily up into 9.5 inch, a lot. And then the template's going to be key. If you have a favorite, throw that in there. And otherwise, you just get a little less rake. I don't like too much rake because then it gets too twangy. But the cool thing about the long 10-inch center fin box is that you can move that fin forward and back. You guys might even sell those screws. Do you still sell those screws?
With the little...
Yeah. Get that. And in the water, you can pop the fin forward or back. If you pop it back, start out with it all the way back and go, oh God, and see how stiff it is. And then push it all the way forward. Same session. Surf it. It's going to be loose and squirrely and crazy. And then you tune it in from there. Taylor puts his boards within a millimeter. That fin is within a millimeter whether he's riding a single fin or it's in a different spot. If it's 2+1, it's in a different spot, but those two different spots, depending on if he has front fins in or not, is to the millimeter. So
wow, that advice you just gave on how to start from the back and move it forward and then find your,
or vice versa, but yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's a good one. And especially if you can do it all on the same surf, you know.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Then you're learning from your own self what it means to have that, you know, formula under you, so that you're not like trying to listen to some guy like me on the internet. You know, you're actually in the water going, oh wow, I can totally feel that, because it's a huge difference, especially on a single fin. It's probably something all surfers should feel, you know, just like, hey, hang on, I need to really understand what a fin's doing in whatever board you're surfing. And unfortunately, with future fins or FCS2s, you don't have that ability. But with the boxes, you can really start to understand the importance of fins and fin placement. And then if you have a raked out fin, you can cheat it forward. If you have a more upright fin, you can cheat it back and still have a similar effect.
Wow. Yeah, because everybody, when they're turning, they're putting weight differently on, you know,
the
way they shift
front
weights.
Foot, back foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody's different. Yeah. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Huh. So do you want to add anything about this board? Can it handle big days?
I would say so. Again, you could just switch up your fins. I think the bigger the surf is, the smaller the fin you can get away with. And scooch the center fin back if you're a 2+1. Scooch it back just a tick, and it'll create hold. I mean, it's just up to any surfer. Like, you could ride a sweet potato and giant surf and have a good time.
Well, that's you.
Yeah.
I remember that interview. Says, yeah, I took it on some pretty good stuff.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's fun. In the clips that Taylor's on, you know, it's real facey. The waves I've surfed on, real facey and good size, really fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be perfect for South Shore. Man.
So I know somebody's going to ask, you know, that comment that you made about, well, when the waves get bigger, you should go maybe with a little bit smaller fins.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Sure. Actually, Kelly's talked about it a lot. Kai Lenny's talked about it a lot too. And the tow guys, their fins are really small because they're going so fast. So basically, I'll try to see if I can say this succinctly, but the faster you're going, the more the surface area that your fin has is going to be loaded up. So if you're going 10 miles an hour, your small little fin starts drifting. If you're going 30 miles an hour, that thing's fully engaged. Another way to look at it is when you watch sailing or windsurfers, they go down in sail size, depending on the wind conditions. So if it's super duper windy, you notice if you watch any sailing, they go with smaller sails or bring their sails down to decrease the surface area, because it's just too much load for the wind on the sail. It's the same thing, but underwater for fins. So imagine your fin underwater as a sail. If you're going really fast and it's too big, you're going to have negative effects or things that are just kind of out of control or create too much drag. So you want to start decreasing the size of your fin the faster you're going, just like you decrease the sail size on a sailboat the faster you're going or more wind you're in.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we have a lot of guys that come in when, you know, the winter season starts, and then they get, I need a bigger fin. I'm like, you know, you should just stay with your normal fin. And
normal fin or smaller.
Yeah. And they're like,
and like, we don't change them out. Like, Kelly doesn't change his fins when he's surfing good surf in a heat or something like that. And like David, those guys don't change their fins ever, you know, and if they do, they go smaller for big surf.
Man, that's a lot of good knowledge, man. I learned so much on this call. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm stoked to be the one to pass it on.
Yeah.
I've learned it from other people, so to you, it's a gift.
Received. Hey,
cool.
So you want to add anything about this board?
Nah, I mean, just if you get it, stoked. Thank you for the support. And man, send me messages on how you like it, and same with you guys. I love watching your guys' posts at the end of the week. You know, look at all the stoked people who bought boards, and I love seeing my boards in there. And just what you're doing is spreading stoke. I love to see that. I like your crew's support of your shop and your vision, and you guys are doing great work. And I'm happy to have the TJ Mini in there in the lineup. So thank you for the support.
Yeah. Right on.
Thank you, Dave.